Hey guys, and welcome to this episode of Dave's Concert Reviews. This episode features a review from the show on March 22nd in New York City at the Apollo. Dave's interviews with Vanna White and Rosemary, some opera singers, and a story about a mischievous cat. Enjoy, won't you?
Hey, this is Dave Elvis Rossi. We are inside the Apollo for show number 1 of 2 at the Apollo. So far, great things. These are in Hawaiian shirts.
Yay!
Yay! Okay, very cool. Go to merchandise booth, get them. I also ran into Jay Levy so far. So it's been great so far. Looking forward to Jeopardy right over there. And I'll at the end I'll have a review. This is a historic theater. I bought a T-shirt and a magnet. I love it so much. Looking forward to this tour. I got to tell Jay how much I'm enjoying it, and he was happy to hear that. So Dave Elvis Rossi. More from me later. Hey, this is Dave Elvis Rossi for YNN, and I'm here with a really special guest. This is tonight's Vanna White.
Hello.
Your name is Alex in real life, but we're going to call you Vanna for his purposes of this movie.
Very appropriate.
Okay. So, Vanna, my first question to you is, this is a tour about all Al originals.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So I would like to know, what is your favorite Al original and why?
So, when I was a wee lad, probably up to 10 years of age, I really liked Dog Eat Dog growing up. I always find it not one of his more comical songs, but just the music and the sound of it. I feel like I should get into Talking Heads because of that song. I haven't listened to him yet, but it's the style of music that I really, really liked.
That's a great answer. Thank you, Alex.
Glad to hear it. Vanna, please. Mrs. White, preferably.
Okay, so my next question is as your role for Vanna, what was the most difficult part of the whole experience as Vanna White?
Well, I'd been preparing for the role for 25 years now, and once I was brought on stage, I realized, you really just have to forget everything you know about all the practice and all the lines that run. You really just have to go with your heart. And once I got on stage and realized that, there was no sweat.
Okay, you are in the... Vanna's fans.
It's all my Vanna's fans.
Vanna,
I love you!
You are here in the historic Apollo Theater in Harlem.
Yes.
So I would like just your thoughts overall on just this whole theater and getting to see the best performer to ever perform here in the Apollo, Weird Al in person. What are you looking forward to?
Did somebody say the best performer ever? How's it going?
This is JW.
Yeah, I can't believe it. Yeah, man. Well, get out of here. All right. Hey, how's it going?
Okay, well.
All right, I'm just kidding. We'll see you guys later.
You never know what's going to go on YNN.
Speaking of the best performer that's ever seen in the Apollo. He's laughing. All right. Now, the Apollo is a beautiful theater and is way too appropriate for the likes of me. Like, it's beautiful, it's elegant, and then there's me. I don't know what I'm doing here. I don't know why I was on stage, but it was a pleasure sharing the stage with you. Did you know he was on stage at the Apollo Theater?
I was on stage and we danced on stage.
We danced on stage together.
How cool
to
is
thunderous
that?
applause. Put that on Facebook.
It's already on Facebook.
Perfect. Good.
All right, so Vanna, thank you for joining me for
It was
the
my
second
pleasure.
interview. Enjoy the show.
I will. You enjoy the show too, and hopefully we hear some great classic Weird Al hits.
I'm hoping he does Dog Eat Dog for you too.
I'm gonna shout it out in case he doesn't. So I'm gonna help the cause here. The Dog Eat Dog cause. You heard it here first, folks, from Vanna White on
YNN. Holy cow, this is breaking news for YNN. I just found out that these guys are opera singers.
Both of us.
Both of them. This is Andres and Alex, and I'm just going to leave it with you guys. Take it away.
Ready?
In every heart there is a room, a sanctuary safe and strong, to heal the wounds from lovers past. until a new one comes along.
And that's all you get for free.
Woo! That was beautiful.
VannaWhite.com. Well, thank you so much for joining us on, I don't know the name of your show.
This is YNN.
YNN. Find us at weirdal.info/someone's Facebook.
Hey, this is Dave Elvis Rossi at the Apollo, and I'm with a very special guest, Rosemary.
Hi. Hi.
We're here for a segment on YNN I like to call 3-question interview. Okay, I'm going to ask you 3 questions. Just say first thing comes to your mind, answer them. Okay?
Avocados.
Avocados. The first question is, you're here in the Historic Apollo Theater for all the Weird Al original tour.
Mm-hmm.
So what is your favorite original and why?
I would have to say it's got to be Biggest Ball of Twine in Minnesota. It's just such a whimsical song, and I loved it so much that I made myself a shirt covered in twine with signs on it for one Halloween.
All right.
Twine is itchy on your arms, by the way. Long sleeves next time.
Thank you, Rosemary. Question number 2 is a trivia question.
Oh, jeez.
Okay, so for the Al's video, Skipper Dan, who is the photographer that he's going to have to take his picture for the cover of Rolling Stone?
Annie Leibovitz, one of the most famous photographers out there.
Wow, you knew that right off the top of your head. That's incredible. And question number 3, the guests I had prior to us were opera singers. Could you please sing us something on your best opera voice?
Best opera voice. I don't know any opera songs. Give me something.
Mary Had a Little Lamb.
Mary Had a Little Lamb.
In
is a question
opera. Mary had a little lamb. That's the best I can do.
That was beautiful.
That was beautiful. Thank you for joining us, Rosemary, on YNN.
Thank you so much for having me. I really enjoyed this.
Back to you.
Man, I had no idea so many Weird Al fans were opera singers. It's quite the crossover. Now, on to Dave's thorough review.
Hi, this is Dave Elvis Rossi reporting for YNN. I'm here to give my concert review for the first of the 2 Apollo shows, which happened last night. I'm usually doing this a day late because we were up way too late last night. Even though the concert's an hour away, we came home. We had a guest staying over, Ethan, and I was showing off my Weird Al collection to him. And if you've ever seen my Weird Al collection, it takes a long time to get through. We probably got maybe halfway through, and about 3 a.m. we called it. So I'm just going to give an update this morning or this afternoon now instead. So first of all, I would say it was really nice that the concert was only an hour away in New York City. It gave us time to just rest and relax all day yesterday. We caught up on the DVR, saw an episode of Drunk History off the DVR, and at the end of it they kind of had a little tease for next season's Drunk History, and we're like, that guy looks familiar. So for like a really brief second in the Drunk History promo for next season, you'll see Al. I'll a little bit more on this later in my review, but I just wanted to bring that up for people who are seeking out looking for Al, and just be prepared for another appearance on Drunk History. Let's see. So we decided we'd try to go in a little bit early. Maybe Ethan was going to meet us at the theater. Jeremy was supposed to come up. He got delayed by the weather, so he did not make yesterday's show. He's going to try to meet us. I think he's either trying to meet us there or we're going to take him in for today's show. I'm not quite sure what's going on with that yet. But so we decided there's a bus by our house that takes like 15 minutes. We're in New York City, and then we hopped on the subway. We were like from door to door. It was like an hour. So we left at 3. We were there at 4. We didn't do a lot of research, but there didn't appear to be a lot of places to eat around there. First spot we saw was Red Lobster. It was really fancy Red Lobster, but it was really, really good. And actually my seat, our seat in the Red Lobster was probably 30 feet from the actual marquee of the Apollo Theater. If I look out the window, I'm like, oh, look at that. So we were like very close, and we weren't worried about it. We went in to the VIP party, and well, before we went in, we actually it's the first time I've ever been to the Apollo, historic theater in Harlem. Nice old theater. It was really pretty inside. I stopped. They have a merchandise area. I stopped. I looked at the stuff. I picked up a T-shirt and a little magnet. Little magnet of the marquee. The T-shirt has basically the same design on it. But it was nice to also chat a little bit with the merchandise guy, and he kind of welcomed us as we told him it was our first visit and all that stuff. Let's see what else we got. I ran into JW as we were signing in for the VIP party, and he basically said that the attendance for the VIP was actually lower than he thought, or than he was expecting. So our chances were actually pretty good to get on Jeopardy if we made sure we put our name in the little tumbler. So we did. I went over, ran into Marnie at the merchandise booth. She's the person who's running the merchandise for this tour, and lo and behold, there was a brand new Hawaiian shirt. I showed it earlier, but blue shirt with a Weird Al on it. Really nice, $70. Not sure. I think it might be silk. No. It looks like silk. It might not actually be silk. But it's nice looking. They just got them in that day. They have not received the large yet. So I did not pick up a shirt yet. I will pick one up as soon as they get the size large in. Let's see. We were hanging out at the merchandise booth, and Jackie turns around and goes, "Hey Dave, look, there's Jay Levy." And I looked around and I was like, "Where?" And he's standing right in front of me. So eventually I'm like, "Oh, you mean like right there?" So I did get a chance to talk to Jay Levy a little bit about, we just chatted for a little bit. He thanked the fans again for the star, for all the work on the star, and kind of told him how much I'm really enjoying this tour. It's kind of made for people like me, basically, but and other fans, but I told him how much I enjoyed it, and so it was nice to actually meet. I got a picture with him. Okay, so we got in basically at that point, sat down, saw Rosemary, sat down with her in the front row for the Jeopardy. Basically, as soon as we sat down, JW came out and started the whole auditioning to be Vanna White thing that he does. He called me up on stage. I got to dance on stage at the Apollo. I don't think too many people booed me off. I got a standing ovation from at least 2 people, but I did not win the part of Vanna. That went to a guy who was much more deserving. His name was Alex, and he was the one I interviewed earlier. But yeah. So I was like, okay, well, that was fun. I got to perform on the stage at the Apollo. That was great. Let's see. Then he called out the contestants. He called out a gentleman. I believe his name was Dan. Sorry if I got that wrong. I didn't write it down. But then he called a veterinarian from Bluefield, New Jersey, and I was like, oh well, that's Jackie. So Jackie got legitimately picked. I'm pretty sure. And then I believe this part might have been rigged, but he did call up me as the 3rd contestant, and I believe it was rigged because he called me a homemaker, which I am not a homemaker, unless that was a joke. But anyway, so I was like thrilled. I got to play Jeopardy. It's a lot of fun to watch. JW's a great host, of course. It's a lot more fun to play. I felt a little bad for Dan because he was up against 2 heavyweights, but I think he did answer a few questions. I think at one point he was surprised. He's like, "Oh my God, I actually have points." But basically, Jackie and I were pretty head to head. She ended up losing a few points because she broke the rules and buzzed in before the question was answered, before it was fully stated. But it was at the end, it came down to the final Jeopardy question, which in Talk Soup, Al mentions poodles. He has a thing for poodles. What are for 4 of the other songs that Al mentions poodles in? Jackie's answer was Virus Alert, which gave her 8,888 points. My question was what is genius in France, which was technically correct. However, JW did not like my wager of pie, so I lost all my points. I ended up in last place. I officially lost on Jeopardy. Jackie actually won Jeopardy. I got called a complete loser on stage of the Apollo, which was, well, I guess if I couldn't win, I might as well go out in a blaze of glory.
The only thing would have been better is if they gave you the hook at the Apollo.
I probably should have got the hook for my dancing rather than my Jeopardy performance. But yeah, so I am a complete loser. But I had a great time doing Jeopardy. So whether I was legitimately picked or somehow that this election was rigged, the selection was rigged, then I'm glad I got to do it. This is my You're a Complete Loser medal, which I got to keep. And I'm going to get a plaque, which will be sent in the mail. And of course Jackie has her winner medal, and she's going to get a plaque as well, I believe. I don't know if we're going to share a plaque or not.
No.
But I would hope we get our own plaque.
I'm not sharing a plaque with you.
little friendly competition. Okay, so we had the break after Jeopardy. I did a few interviews. I interviewed Vanna White, which you saw earlier, and his friend, him and his friend Andres. After we were talking after the interview, we found out that they're professional singers. So of course we asked them to do that little piece, and they were more than excited. So I know they told them how to watch the review and all that stuff on my website and YNN. So hello and thank you for doing that. That was great. Again, interviewed Rosemary, who is also a great guest. I love talking to fans. Met up with 2 other fans while we were out chatting. Adam, again, we met him first in Huntington a couple of years ago, and then Huntington recently. He came, got to talk to him in person about the whole Cheap Trick thing that Al did a couple nights ago. He was excited and all that. And met another fan named Jeremy, who was friends with Ethan, who was filling in for the other Jeremy.
Part of Jeremy was played by Jeremy.
Part of Jeremy tonight was played by Jeremy. But actually, I was supposed to meet up with MC Lars. He was at the show last night. I did not get in touch with him, but I don't know if he's going to watch this, but I do want to give a shout out to MC Lars and let him know I'm sending him the pin that he wants in the mail. We basically sat down just in time for emo. Emo had a great set as usual. What was interesting on this one is that right as emo was starting, I noticed Steve J came running out, sat down in the front row center, and just watched the entire emo set. Emo got a standing ovation, and Steve J was the first one to stand up. So it's really cool that Steve J is supporting emo, and probably a fan, the fact that he came running out like that and really wanted to see emo's set. I'm going to throw it back to you, Alicia, for a minute, because I have to go get a prop, and I'll come right back with this interview. So, be right back.
What?
Okay, thank you, Alicia. I'm back. Again, this is Dave Elvis Rossi reporting from YNN. Basically, after emo's set, I ran off to the bathroom. On the way back, I ran into old friends of ours, Dave and Terry. Chatted with them for a little while. They had really cool seats actually right above us, the Statler and Waldorf seats kind of right above us, and so it was great to see them briefly and enjoy during the concert. The actual concert itself is probably going to be the shortest part of my review because of everything else that went on. But it was exciting to actually get to see Al perform Fun Zone again. Or the band perform Fun Zone again, and of course Al stays off the stage while Jim, Steve, and John yell out the haze, haze, haze. And then Al came out. He did I'll Sue Ya. I'm just going to kind of go down the set list here. Melanie, Bob, biggest ball twine in Minnesota. They needed to buy a little bit of time because Jim needed a little bit more time to tune his guitar for the next song. So he went to Steve, who did a bass solo. I'm not exactly sure what the name of the song Steve did for his bass solo, but I don't know if it was a Steve original or if it was just a song I didn't recognize.
Al said he wrote it when he got done.
Yeah,
with
Al did say Steve wrote it, but I don't know if that was a joke or if that was
true or not.
Yeah, I don't know. So when the Stitcher, the streaming comes out, you guys can fill in the information on that one. Buy Me a Condo, Let Me Be Your Hog, which again had the huge build up and for the really short song. He did not do anything to dismiss the bandmates for CNR, but then right after Let Me Be Your Hog, he went into CNR. One More Minute, Velvet Elvis. The next one he teased as a song that he wrote with Ben Folds, or wrote and Ben Folds performed on the album for it. And he kind of teased, and everyone was like, "Oh my God, is he actually going to bring out Ben Folds to play on this song?" But no, our special guest was Ruben. But his actually, it was cool, and just to see Ruben get to do Why Does This Always Happen to Me, is the song obviously, to get Ruben do it, and he has a great keyboard solo in the middle of it. It was really cool. Another tease for the Hamilton polka, When I Was Your Age, is the song. Don't download this song. This is kind of the first time I really saw us in any major capacity, but people took out their iPhones and were waving them, turned on the flashlight and were waving them around. That's New York City crowd for you. They're not afraid to interact with the show. Always love seeing this one. Mr. Frump in the Iron Lung. One of his 2 Christmas songs, The Night Santa Went Crazy. Midnight Star, Good Old Days. Next he called for a drum solo. Bermuda did his My Drum Solo piece again. The medley, the cover song for tonight was, he said that he was very aware that he was in such a historic theater, and as such he wanted to do, pay proper tribute to the Apollo. He did Close to You by the Carpenters.
Just the whitest song by the whitest band ever.
Yeah, which is probably was the joke. that out of every song he could have done at the Apollo, maybe that was probably any cover song he could have done, that was might not have been number one on other people's lists. And of course he closed the concert with The Saga Begins. Then after the show, we ended up in VIP after show party. We were told to kind of sit in the back row of the theater, which made us think, oh well, we're going to be last to get to meet Al. Well, basically JW flipped the script on us and we were called up first. So we didn't have a lot of time to prepare to meet Al. Usually we like to have a little time to just decompress and think of what I want to say to Al, and kind of prepare myself for a picture and everything. While we were waiting for Al to come out, I did the gentleman sitting next to me. His name is Christopher, and he works for NECA, who does all these action figures, basically. And I don't know if this is a spoiler from a last.
Dave! What happened? Ah! Are you okay, Dave? What happened? Or did they silence you? Come back, Dave! Dave?
I apologize for that, man. We just got attacked by a whole bunch of aliens, radioactive hamsters from a planet near Mars. Interrupted our whole broadcast there. Everything is back to normal. There's a hamster wheel out back in the backyard they're using. Everything's cool. I'm gonna pick up with my with the rest of my review. Hopefully the slime creatures will hold off a little bit until we finish. And again, apologies for that. It's been such a wild trip so far. I never know what to expect. Anyway, I was starting to go into the whole after show experience. I met up with a guy, Christopher, who did the all these NECA action figures. He was involved with them. He wasn't actually involved in the Simpsons one, but in these other two, he was involved in. He actually got his work sculpting Simpsons figures, so it was a little surprising that he actually wasn't involved in Al's figure, but he was a little bit. He really, that's the one that he really wished he could work on. But I don't know that this is a spoiler or not. But Christopher was open sharing it with me, so I feel comfortable sharing it with everyone. The next action figure for NECA is going to be Fat Al, and it's going to be like Fat Al in a fat suit. It probably is not going to move because of so much because of the size of the suit, but it's going to be in a bigger box, obviously, because it's a bigger figure. So, breaking news, exciting. I'm actually really excited to hear about that. I'm going to give a shout out to Christopher and thank him for that information. So right as I was saying, we were sitting in the back row of the after show VIP ticket holders, thinking we would be last to meet Al. JW flipped the script on us and called us up first. As I'm standing up, I feel a arm on my shoulder, and he goes, "Sit down, buddy," and it was Al. So I think that kind of broke the ice with everyone who was waiting to meet Al. Shows that Al's is easy to approach and all that kind of stuff. Yeah, we were rushed. We were like, oh my God, we're first. What do we do? I handed the camera. We got a picture. I was wanting to ask Al a little bit about drunk history. And first when I asked him, he was like, "Oh my God, that aired already?" I didn't, he was surprised. I said, "No, just a promo for next season." I asked him if he would mind sharing, a little bit about what his it's very hard to tell what his character is in a little 1-second clip of Al. I asked him if he would share what his character was. He did. He also asked me not to share that with anybody else. So I'm not going to, out of respect for Al, but it's very exciting. But it should air next season, and maybe spoilers will leak out before that. But yeah, look for that. Look for Al's on Drunk History next season. Got through our group. We were waiting outside on the street by like 11 o'clock, and we were like, "All right, now what?" We're used to getting out of theaters very late because of and people were like, "Now what do we do?" We decided we would just kind of head home and kind of show off, use the rest of that time to kind of show off some of my Al collection to Ethan. We went to the parking garage that Ethan had parked in, and it was all blocked up. We're like, "Oh, now what?" But there was a sign that said be back in 5 minutes. The guy was back in like 2 minutes, we got out. We drove Rosemary to the train station so she wouldn't have to walk. Then we headed home. We were home
by midnight.
Easily by midnight. We have a new kitten, or not new. Well, she's been with us for over a year now, but she likes to get herself in trouble. So what she decided to do at midnight was she decided to climb into the cellar ceiling and camp out in there. And she jumped into a hole that was kind of opened up in the ceiling, and it really wasn't easy for her to get in. So it was extremely hard for her to get out. We probably spent 15 minutes at midnight trying to pull our cat Skylar out of the ceiling. She's safe. She's fine. Everything's good. I blocked up the hole. It shouldn't be an issue again. But until we see what next little piece of trouble she wants to get into,
she'll find something.
She loves keeping us on our toes. So after that adventure, pulling a cat out of a ceiling at midnight, we finally did make it up to the hour room. I showed Ethan. I pulled out a ton of stuff for him to look at. I think he would have stayed up all night with me and looked at stuff, but I called it off at 3 a.m. and I'm like, listen, I got to get some sleep. You got to get to work tomorrow morning. So that was our adventure. Today we get the whole VIP experience again. We're probably going to head out around 3 o'clock, same time. This time Ethan's actually driving us. Don't know what we're doing for dinner yet. Don't know really anything other than we're just going to kind of show up and hopefully have, even if we have half as much fun as I had yesterday, I'll have so much fun. I mean, that was probably one of the best experiences I've had at a concert. Certainly this tour, maybe top 5, top 10 overall out of all the shows I've seen. Again, thank you for everyone at the staff and the crew of the tour who making this so much fun for me, and of course, thanks for Al for being brave enough to do this type of concert, which is I'm loving, and thanks again to all you guys for watching. It's just really exciting. I'm gonna keep as long as I can do it. I'm gonna keep live tweeting, keep doing these reviews. And looking forward to see what today's going to be, and I hopefully have a different set list. And if he doesn't, that's fine, But hopefully he'll mix up. We'll get to see some songs he didn't do. I know Adrian's really hoping to see Nature Trail to Hell. The fact that he didn't play it yesterday is looking good for today. I'm just going to end on one thing and say that I lost on Jeopardy. I am a complete loser.
Thank you for tuning in to this episode of Dave's Concert Reviews. If you have Weird Al related news or a concert review, you too can be a correspondent for YNN. Contact me and we'll set it up. Don't forget to like, subscribe, share, click the bell icon, and Patreonize the channel so that YouTube will promote us to the world and our community will reign supreme overall. Thanks for watching.